Please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Let's also welcome in Mr. Tulsian of sptulsian.com on the show. In a bit, we'll also have Dipun Mehta, member of both the exchanges, joining in. Mr. Tulsian, good afternoon, sir. Let me start with the numbers at hand first up. Let's take a look at Nestle and whether you at all would be, worried because of this India sales number. It's 8% because they had to pass on the GST cuts. At current valuations, how would you look at a stock like Nestle?
See, passing on GST cut is a set rule of the law. I don't think that should definitely get factored in. And even if I exclude the excise adjustment, because I have not been able to calculate it, because in the previous quarter of the previous year, the excise burden was only at 83 crore on a top line of domestic sales of about 2200 crore. So I don't know whether the domestic sales can be taken from 8% to 14% after making this adjustment, and even if it is presumed to be at 14%, excluding this excise duty, because this gives me 3.75% effect of the excise duty, even if I make this adjustment to make the comparable figures of the previous quarter, that is of June 2017 vis-a-vis June 2018 of this one, I don't know whether the volume growth will be seen at 14% or not. So taking these into account, I think the numbers are seen little disappointing, as I said, that 8% and 14%, because I have my reservations on 14%. So, and apart from that, the valuations of the, which I have been saying for last couple of weeks, actually this applies for all the richly valued stocks, that once you see the results coming in, you find them to be quite expensive. Even if I take the 175 rupees as EPS, the stock is ruling at a P multiple of 55, 57, which are definitely seen to be quite compelling, even if I compare with the other FMCG stocks, not necessarily maybe in the staple space. So going forward, things are, even if the stock, I don't think, I'm not saying that the stocks will collapse, but I don't think that you have upside potentials going forward on these stocks unless until all these FMCG stocks are ruling at a P multiple of maybe about anywhere between 45 to 50 or maybe 45 to 47 on the current year earnings.
Okay, lots of interesting stuff going on. I mean, Axis is a big move. Both Ashwani and Mitesh pointed out that they have buys here, 578 on Axis. Look at that one go. But one day it goes down because somebody is rumored to be, a candidate in the running in a credible way for the top job. Another day, like today, the stock is higher. On news that somebody else, we reported that Amitabh Chaudhary, who now runs HDFC Life, is the front runner for the top job at Axis. Stocks up 30 odd rupees. So one doesn't know finally what the market will make when the final decision actually comes through. But Indiabulls Housing has been up from the beginning, 6% higher. VIP reported numbers, strong numbers, is up 7.25%. Delta, another one of Ashwini's calls, 7.33% higher. So it's had a good going. Torrent Pharma has been up about 7%. RITES, that is the railway company, the consultancy, it's up almost 7% or so. Avanti Feeds is up 6%. And then you've got the PVRs and the Inoxes, which are up. Inox actually is up almost 16%. Mr. Tulsian, do you track this space, Inox, PVR, etc.? I think the case with regards to carrying eatables into movie halls comes up next week before the courts.
Prashant, I'm unable to understand that how can one preempt the outcome of the court verdict, because definitely I think this is going to get debated, hotly in the public domain, and even people wants that there should be allowability, or there should not be a restriction only of buying into the IMAXs or maybe in the multiplexes. So I think that going forward, this is going to remain as a hanging sword on the multiplexes, and taking that into account, probably I won't be taking, because I have been keeping a cautious call on, because if you really see the bottom line of these companies, mainly PVR and Inox, the major portion of that, or I would say that practically the entire profit before tax of these multiplexes are coming in from the food and beverages space only. And if you have any kind of restrictions coming in, either selling at a MRP or allowing the outside foodstuffs to be brought into the multiplexes, that will be seen definitely negative for these stocks. And once this spreads from Maharashtra to other states, this will definitely be having its impact.
Okay, that's PVR and Inox. Both those stocks are surging away today. The other one that's been consistently higher, as Prashant mentioned also, is of course Indiabulls Housing Finance. Good numbers, some very strong commentary from the management. So let's do a fundamental and a technical check on this. Mitesh, let me ask you first. Now, the stock is once again coming to the higher end of its recent trading band. Do you see a bigger breakout happening? I mean, how does it look to you on the charts after today's 6% up move?
In fact, I think there could be a bigger breakout, but for the timing, I would be tempted to take profits. Simple reason, I think last 3 weeks, the stock has done from about 1120 odd levels to about now at 1380. In fact, 1380 is the area where the stock peaked out in April 2018, and around 1400 we have a very important high in January 2018. So I think these are areas where you would expect, people who have been stuck at higher levels, this is the highest ever levels, might come in for selling their stock or taking some profits from the trading point of view. Given the area where the stock peaked out in April 2018, and around 1400 we have a very important high in January 2018. So I think these are areas where you would expect, people who have been stuck at higher levels, this is the highest ever levels, might come in for selling their stock or taking some profits from the trading point of view, given the fact that last 3 weeks has seen a good run up. But eventually I do expect 1400 to be crossed. So maybe a 1 2 week of consolidation, and I think from trading point of view these are good levels to take profit. But if we start getting past 1400, I would turn positive again and look for a 1600 kind of a target.
Okay, so on the charts, Mitesh is watching out for 1400 as a key level. Mr. Tulsian, how would you view this now? This is one company, loan growth wasn't a problem. In fact, when we're talking about higher cost of funds, they've actually, I think, expanded spreads slightly. And today the management didn't give any indication of any pressure, at least that right now they're facing on cost of funds. What would your take be on the stock?
See, actually, management is seen to be quite confident, and they've said that the 30% AUM growth, and that is enough to have a comforting call on that. And we have already seen that in the Q1 numbers. In fact, the part of the NIM pressure I've already seen in case of many NBFCs and the private sector banks, where the NIMs have contracted by about 5%, but that has not been case here in case of Indiabulls Housing Finance, when we have seen the revenue growth of 26-27% YOY basis, while the PBT rose by 32% and PAT rose by about 30%. So I have said this in the morning also, that if you have any kind of comfort of 30% growth to be seen in the performance on the bottom line, I think it is Bajaj Finance and it is the Indiabulls Housing Finance which is showing this kind of conviction. And generally, I have always maintained, in fact, I have said in this last couple of weeks, twice or thrice, that whenever the Indiabulls Housing starts moving up, it moves up swiftly. And actually, Q4 numbers were not bad at all, but in Q4 to Q1, the stock has really contracted and consolidated quite a lot. And this time, because of this rally coupled with the management commentary, I won't be surprised to see the share moving to its all-time high, crossing its old high of 1440, which we have seen maybe, I don't know when, maybe a couple of months back. And we are in fact keeping quite positive stance because of the growth visibility to be seen for the next 3 quarters also. And to add the sweeteners, the dividend payout ratio is seen to be quite good. We have already seen first interim dividend of 500%. And let's not forget that the similar 3 interim dividends can get expected from the company along with every quarter results. That has been the trend with the company. So expect a dividend of anywhere between 1500 to 2000% as well for FY19, coupled with such a good performance, which may show an EPS of crossing 3 digit as well, of closer to anywhere between 100 to 105 rupees per share.
Fair enough. I mean, that's a comprehensive view on Indiabulls Housing. 2 other names, and usually they don't figure with large gains. When they do, there's not too much volume, but today there is volume. So AstraZeneca and Merck, if you can put both those names up, both MNC pharma names, and both of them up strongly. AstraZeneca is up 11 3/4, and Merck is up quite strongly as well. The other one is something like a Kaya, which is showing a 8.5% move. Again, just pointing out stuff with large volumes. There's enough else which is moving but not in strong volume. Kaya is up about 8.25%. Mr. Tulsian, any views on this one, Kaya?
Prashant, in fact, it's a very thinly traded stock and seems to be quite rich as well. Because if you really see, so I don't think that,
Okay. Just another said, do you track Transport Corporation? I mean, this is the other one, which is Transport TCI Express as well. Any views there?
To me, Prashant?
Yeah. Yes, Mr. Tulsian.
Yeah, I do track, but now this, after this bifurcation of the divisions of this TCI's group into TCI Express, Transport Corporation, Gati, I don't think that the companies, all these companies are really able to capture the growth potentials which we have seen in the logistics space. and many new players have really taken over, or have eaten the market share. Whether you talk of All Cargo, or maybe if future group logistics space, Mahindra's. So I don't think that these you have much attraction or much kicker seen in the growth or the financial performance of the company of Transport Corporation.